Holy moly. Good morning. This is Dr. Mia Lueth. It is 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time, USA, New York. It is October 10th, 2025. This is correct. The National Hockey League hockey season is underway. The home opener for the Winnipeg Jets, which, yes. Hello, Winnipeg from Maryland. How you doing? Hi. I'm surrounded by subpar teams. Winnipegians, Winnipegites. You know, if I had money and opportunity, I would probably just go live around Winnipeg somewhere. Banging on Canada's door. Let me in. Let me in. Did you think I was gonna stop doing that? Right? I mean, I know, yeah, with immigrants and stuff like that. Like, I pay attention. Like, I've read through, how they do immigration. It's different from the U.S. And there's certain like fields that, yeah, I mean, they're looking for certain types of uh, people who have certain types of skills, certain type of work, and so they get like a priority. Also, yeah, I know. Unfortunately, the U.S. uh, rates medical system put me in the poorhouse. So, you know, I'm sure I could get a Canadian sponsor though. Just out of hockey love, just in general, I probably could. Some musical Canadians too. I know I would be able to do that. Maybe somebody who's got a bunch of extra money could help me out over there in Canada. But I'm not really here to talk about ice hockey today. It's just that I do love ice hockey a lot. Okay. And I've spent many years studying the game. I still study, but I call it a sport rather than a game. Uh, and there's still stuff to learn. I mean, it's I'm never going to stop learning about ice hockey. There's stuff like I don't want to know what waivers are, but I still pay attention and learn. And so for the past like 15 years, I've been more quiet about it. Um, I usually stay quiet while I'm learning some new aspects of something. And uh, for me, when it comes to the Winnipeg Jets, I mean, I'll catch up quickly this season. It just depends on what kind of day I'm able to have because I am disabled and I have serious health issues, which I'm tired of people online ignoring, or AI or whatever the hell's talking to me online. So yeah, I'm not going to answer my direct messages on X anymore. Simple enough. Simple enough. Uh, Anybody who can't do a video call with me or a phone call or in person, I have nothing to say to you. I really don't. Text is, yeah, not a good way to get things across. Sometimes it's flawed in terms of understanding, and some of these the way I'm being communicated with is just improper and wrong in every way. And yes, I can't really say that I'm believe that most of them are the celebrities they say they are, because I'm just like, well, these people know how to read and write English. You know what I'm trying to say? So if you're overseas, uh, maybe I don't really want to talk to you. Okay. If you're Canadian, I'll talk to you. Of course. This is the thing. Well, I mean, and the fun thing, the only other thing I'm going to say about ice hockey is the fun thing is depending on your perspective, because right, Canadians, um, they have the Canada is like it's the National Hockey League, but whose nation? You know what I'm trying to say? Because Americans think it's right. the United States, and the Canadians think it's Canada. That's why like I understand like the World Hockey League kind of title better because it may be played only in North America, but there's so many different kinds of players come from all over the place. So I'm I've never been one to worry about Europeans and all this other. I mean, there's people who talk, yappity yap all day long about like, the Russians run it, the Europeans run it. I'm like, listen, Wayne Gretzky's like an iconic air quote hero. Not to everybody. Might be a few things having to do with Arizona ice hockey may have left some, bad taste in some people's mouths. But in general, okay, and his grandparents were from Belarus. Okay, so I know a lot of Canadians, it's like Canadian pride, they have to, it's like hockey's ours. And all I can say is, well, thank you for sharing. Because there's some of us in the US, that's we're, whether we get paid or not, we're still hockey lifers. I don't get paid to be a hockey lifer, but not money anyway. I mean, it'd be nice, but I don't, and so I can't always, say, oh, you're not a true fan, you don't go to every. I'm like, I'm disabled people, okay? At least 20 years have been shaved off my lifetime, and I have struggles every day sometimes just to even get up, put my 2 feet on the ground. And sometimes I gotta talk myself into getting up and doing things. Sometimes I gotta win a fight to get up and do things. So, you know, I'm not going to be listening to anyone or talking to anyone online anymore about certain things. I'll just ignore you. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Okay? Like, I was a hockey fan and grew up around my family, baseball fans. Not that I didn't like baseball, it wasn't my favorite sport. Uh, and, football, but I grew up 20 minutes from Cal Ripken. And a lot of people know about Cal Ripken, that name. So, a lot of like baseball around me because of, right, the Ripken family. Right. Yeah, one of the Orioles lived like 3 minutes down the road from me. I can't remember which one. House with lots of windows that was facing a golf club or something. Anyway, so right, I mean, it's not uncommon in certain places to run across people who are well-known athletes or musicians for that matter. So yeah, I'm not going to be talking about ice hockey today, but I'll just stop talking to people at this point, or AI or whatever the hell it is. I'm done. Okay, I'm just done. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I'm not in competition with anybody for anything. And I mean, I have serious medical issues that are very difficult to manage. So I'm just gonna spend the rest of it now loving eyesight. And I put out there, somebody helps make a way for me to move to Winnipeg or a little outside of Winnipeg. I'm not even going to stop to think about it. The answer is already yes. Can you help me move there? Can I get a sponsor? Can the Canadians and all of you all and that right? You know, do a sick old hacky lafer who doesn't get paid financially a solid for my bucket list. Anyway, so as for the music, there's a lot of stuff I need to say. I never understood when I was young. I never understood like there were people around me and they're just like, ooh, ooh, the hair bands. Oh my God, they're so sexy. I'm like, ew. You think that guy's sexy? You gotta be kidding me. It was some music I like, okay? But geez, Christmas, like, oh, lady. Yeah, like, I don't love people's looks and other kind of stuff. Okay, I love their music. And that's exactly what happened with Duran Duran. I've never even seen them before. When their first album came out, somebody did like this really crappy recording. It was probably illegal at the time, right? Little cassette. And I heard Duran Duran's album for the first time. And then MTV, and so right. But I mean, some people easy on the eyes. I'm not trying to say that. It's just that their music is still unique in this world. And you know, I kind of listen to Paris Station. I listen to Arcadia. I listened to them. Partial Duran Duran. Right. There's right. In in today's Duran Duran, and well, I know when it's sick, so we put prayers up because stupid effing cancer still roaming around this planet. Right? I mean, if you want to curse something to death, curse the illness, cancer to death. Okay, but well, I've always appreciated the fact that like most albums is like a little bit of everybody. Okay, even if one was a primary lyricist or whatever. So the fact that they did kind of get back together and they're, that's good. And yeah, they're still making music. Um, but that's why, I mean, I don't care what somebody looks like. Okay. I mean, like, I hear music I like. Okay, great. To me, it's like, oh, bonus. Some of them are easy on the eyes. But I went around and saw quite a few Duran Duran shows, and I was never one of those waiting around. Like, ew. Like, I don't even have time for that crap. Like, what do you all people think happens? Like, uh, yeah, like backstage, and I don't know. Yeah, and I'm definitely. Oh, I've been a party girl here and there. And when I go, man, like, whew, right, yeah, I go, man, for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, but that's not my normal. You know, I don't perceive that way. So they're rockers. Certain people are like, oh my God, they're so sexy. Oh my God, I'm like, ew. Hey, people, you think you're charmers and all? Yeah, I don't do that. So many of you, oh, you're not a joiner. Oh, you're blah blah blah. Oh, you're just jealous. I'm like, I'm not any of those things at all. Okay, great. I mean, Aerosmith kind of pissed me off, to be honest. Um, when their first album, obviously, it was really good. I mean, it was really good. Okay, a lot of people agree with me. But then I snuck in to this club with my brother's friends, and I saw them play live in this club, and it was not very good. Like it looked like two of them didn't even like each other. One of them was like staggering drunk, drugged up, and it was terrible. It was. I mean, I know music pretty well. I know what I'm looking at. I mean, I know what I see. I know what yeah. And one of them even reeked. Like you could smell, you could smell the alcohol like vaporizing around them. It was a crappy show. I've since gone to another show, and it was much, much, much better. Uh, but when it comes to music, I don't care. Like there are people fawn over certain people, and ooh ah, oh, and I'm like, the hell is the matter with you people? I'm in it for the music and the music alone, all the time. It never changes. And yeah, I was just listening. I just found something on YouTube. Peter Gabriel, maybe I don't know, 2010 or something, right? Um, Singing "Signal of Noise," and that's such a great song. The orchestration, I mean, it still gives me goosebumps. Send out the signal deep and loud. And send out the signal, wipe out the noise. Like there's so much Peter Gabriel that I enjoy in Genesis and everything. But it's the other musicians too. I mean, I get this because, right, the musicians that he surrounds himself with too. So, I appreciate all of them, and there's just so many. Like he just knows how to build that, and then kapow. I mean, it's definitely a Peter Gabriel thing. Years and years of practice. But earlier on, and there's some pretty weird stuff too. Experimental, whatever. But his voice is very unique, and no matter what, he's been a blessing to the world of music. So I always suggest kids listen to Peter Gabriel. Uh, I've always loved singing along with Peter Gabriel, car concerts at home, whatever. And there's a few songs that, if I were going to do covers, like out in public, probably there's no doubt I would do a Peter Gabriel. I'm not really into that. People are like, that's the only way you can get this covered. I'm like, bullshit. And maybe I'm just going to do it for free, like I already have. On my own time and my own dime, and put it out there. And occasionally I'll even send one to some musicians. I'm like, you guys have been singing to me for a long time here. Sing one to you here, and I'll sing to you. How's that? So, my time at this point is kind of bucket list. I don't give a shit. Like, people on text, like, that's so negative. I'm like, it's fucking truth. If you don't want to understand that, like, there at least 20 years of my life have just been taken out. I mean, the fact that I survived one thing in the first place, almost miracle. Okay, right. I've had to recover, and then, it's just one thing after another, and nobody is allowed to put financial stress on me. And no, I don't need a fucking job. Okay, you're going to let me live out. I mean, I'm aiming for more than 10 years, but it's not looking favorable. And my body will get weaker with every surgery I have. If you don't understand that, you have no business communicating with me in any way. But I will say this about ice hockey players, and I will say this about musicians. Yeah, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks in their little heads. Okay? Just because you think it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean that's how everybody else does it. And it doesn't mean that, right, it's going to affect the universe the way you all are thinking it does, because it doesn't. Okay? I know that you're all human. I know that all the hockey players I'm looking at are human beings. I know some of them have private lives. I know, some of them may have difficulty being present the entire, game. It's even if you're a well seasoned and practiced professional, there's some things, health, family, money, right? There's some things that could affect what they're doing on ice. So we may not know about or see, and we may never know about it. Maybe if they write a tell-all book when they retire, you know what I'm trying to say. But there's all kind of things we don't know about. But I know every single one of them is a human being. And I know that, there are players in the Jets who sometimes will play injured, we don't know, and there are players in the Jets who may have, some personal situations going on and so on and so forth. I know that they are not the only team on ice. There's so many. I've read so many different things, even professional sports writers sometimes. It's like, yeah, you would be writing differently if you actually understood that just because our team had control of the puck for most of the time, which is good, okay, all right, doesn't mean they're going to win. They just have a higher chance. Because some teams just dig in and they're just like, no fucking way. Not today. No goals for you. Yeah, like, no goals for you. And it can happen. Any team in the National Hockey League is capable of beating any other team, no matter what standings, no matter what who's on ice and who's not. And that's the other thing is NHL parity, and a lot of people may not understand that, but it wasn't like that. What, 20 years ago or so? You're right, maybe it changed 20 years ago. But they didn't implement all the changes after the 04-05 lockout. They did that slowly but surely, and I know, like, taking out the red line did cause more high speed, right, hits and other kind of things. So over time, they worked on that, and it's hybrid icing is a little safer. So I mean, they work on these things. It's like the National Hockey League is 365 days a year. It may not be like that for the players, it may not be like that for all the staff, but it is, yes, 365. It's all year round, postseason, preseason, all that kind of thing. So people, you have to understand that, and even paid sports writers, you wouldn't be writing like that. Okay, like don't be don't don't go that way. Okay, you're not doing your readers a solid. And just because you think certain people want to, and no, some of us, we don't want to hear that. We don't care. Every single NHL team is got humans. There's humans on the bench. There's humans who are behind the scenes that people don't see, and then the people who are playing, they're human beings. Point blank. None of them are superhuman. I mean, I know some hockey players will say they're gods among men, but they don't mean like, right, actual real. They're just people who get looked looked up to, and they're good leaders and they're generally decent people, but they're allowed to have their crappy days. They're allowed to, maybe not perform as well. But that's why they're on a team. And it's always two teams. Now, you may not be able to see the intimidation level that the other team is putting on. Okay, but it's not like they don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it does take a little while to be more patient with the puck. Okay, so they're not like feeling that. Back pressure. There's intangible things that are just there, and so it is never in the total 100% control of your team only. It's a finite amount of time for your team to maneuver. So, nowadays, quite literally, you can score 2 goals in 30 seconds at the end of a game and still win. It wasn't like that 30 years ago. Okay. So, those are positive things. It does make the game more exciting, but it is never ever 100% all your team out there. Other team gets the puck every so often. Other teams reading, goalies reading you pretty well. Other teams got, like nice hands near the net. Right? It's the same thing with musicians. It's like I don't care whether I know a celebrity or not. It's not really anybody's business for one thing. But I know they're all humans out there, and some of you are just crappy people, straight up. And some of you put on the charm and have this crap, and like, when I was growing up, there were some people like totally just crazed and in love, and a lot of us in lost. But yeah, the way they look, I'm like, but I was not really a good musician. What's happening there? I've never been like that. I've always just appreciated the music. And for me, it's sort of like the music. I'm like, sometimes they want to try something different. And to you, it may not sound like, same old. But to me, it's like, well, you still there's there are hints and touches of the way this one writes lyrics, or there's hints and touches of the way this one plays bass. I mean, it's not, you can still tell if you understand music. If you know that sometimes the drummer's driving, sometimes the bassist is driving. It's these things when it comes to music is I don't care what you look like. Okay, I don't know. And so some bands they do have this like signature sound, but it's not like repetitive. Some want to try something different. Some want to expand the way that they make music and so on and so forth. So when an album comes, it you can tell that it's them because you know the voice or the way the guitarist approaches things. Still different, but it's the same people. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes bands change up guitarists or whatever. I mean, there are lots of reasons that happens too. But I, I mean, sometimes it's like, well, that was not hard on the eyes. That was easy on the eyes. That's nice. That's a bonus. But I don't care about that really. I care about the music. There are some bands that can't play live, save their freedom my asses. This is just truth. And, you know, there are just some bands like that lead vocalist voice. You just know. Even when they're doing something different. You understand? Like maybe they might sing a certain and blah, 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 and then they do a different song. You're like, oh shit, this happens. There's band I use as examples of this. Uh, well, one of them, Kiss. Like the minute anybody hears Beth, they probably would not know if they weren't told any different that it was Kiss. Okay, that's still a pretty memorable song. Beth, I hear you calling. I know I might be singing it wrong, but it's still like yes. If you didn't know that, here, another one, and I love using this example. Breaking Benjamin. Like it's usually harder. There's usually some other, and like when you listen to Ashes of Eden, if you didn't know any better, you probably wouldn't know it was Breaking Benjamin. So when it comes to music, and I don't really believe in genre. Okay, I understand why in some cases, like certain levels, you kind of need to sort of put it in right in order to present it, but I that's subjective. Okay, so if you don't know what subjective is, please look it up. A lot of things on this planet are subjective. Okay, me, I like all different kinds of music for different kinds of reasons. Um, so yeah, and there are bands like will put one out that just like if you didn't get that information, if you weren't told, if you didn't know that, you probably would not actually guess that it was that band, unless you're really in tune to like either a guitarist or your vocalist or whatever, and you just know, wow, I know who that is singing, but this is like, whoa, like did they go solo? Right? Like, you have to. So my ear is so well trained that I know that it's difficult sometimes for people to understand my perspective when it comes to that. I'm aware. Um, and I know that there are quite a few people not biggest fans of electric guitars and all this other kind of stuff. Some of it's just a show. Okay, they're just good show people. So I don't know people. She's a demon. Like, would everybody leave me out of that crap right the hell now? Immediately. Yeah, I love Jesus. That's all anybody needs to know. Okay? Point blank. Don't drag me into that crap because it's all unnecessary in the first place. But some of you apparently need to go through it to actually learn that. And okay. But I've been listening to music for a very, very, very long, all sorts of different music. You understand? And I've learned to appreciate all sorts of different kinds of music. So, I'm not stuck in just one little genre or whatever. I don't care so much like other people might. And when I make music, I'm not doing it. So that's the point. I don't have a record contract. I don't have like uh, any, restrictions other than time and money. But I just keep going until I get it done. So I did this like, sort of album. I don't know. I had like 8 maybe songs. Well, I actually had 10, but two of them, like, compared to what I did with the other eight, were just crappy. So I'm like, I may be able to fix them up later, but they're not going out in public now. So I just put it out there for free. And if you like it, you like it. Good. If you don't, well, you didn't have to pay for it. Maybe it's just that one song you don't like. But it is one of the things I don't have that kind of pressure. Um, like when I have time, when I have resources, I work on things and I eventually, you know, get new stuff out. But there's only so much time in a day, everybody. And, one-legged popes. We got three people anyway working toward that. And some, our band name. Unfortunately, now one of them is starting chemotherapy for stage 3 pancreatic cancer. Clearly, he needs to concentrate on that and nothing else. So there's no band time there. And then, yes, I did not. We've now gotten not so good news for another band member, and I'm gonna need a couple surgeries as soon as possible. That's what I'm getting for the holidays this year. I'm always gonna love music. Some of them are performers, I get it. Hey, when I make music, it's original. It's like I said, I don't really do covers. I love singing along with, what I'm saying. And if I did do covers, it would be very few. Okay, because they did it so well the first time, I don't need to be repeating that again. And I sing along with them anyway, just like I don't need the public to see me. I do it online sometimes because I understand how it feels when your life just bam, a freaking wall comes at you, knocks you flat on your ass, and you're like, I have what? Can't drive a vehicle anymore. Never thought that my life at 53 would be like this. But yesterday, I was really struggling. And I had to go talk to a nurse, and we're not really sure what it is. My blood pressure dropped low and then went really high. And yeah, it's hypoglycemia. Yeah, it's not. I have like atypical diabetes. It's not right. It isn't. I don't have to take insulin, and it may not even be that. It might be something else. Gastroparesis. So part of my gastrointestinal system is paralyzed. Sometimes food is very, very, very difficult. And, running and jumping and doing those kind of exercises just aren't possible for me because I'll wreck myself even more if I try. I have, more aggressive form of osteoarthritis. Uh, so I need to also consider death with dignity. I need to consider, what's going to happen to me when I just can't anymore. I mean, me making it to 60, those odds were so against me because of illness and lack of funds to get proper health care and lack of family support because they're all dead. and then friends who turn tail the minute you have a bad day or a couple bad weeks or whatever. So I'm hoping that over the next 10 years, whatever I have left of life, I can at least get some music out. I may have to do that solo because it doesn't look like one-legged posts. Yeah, like two members now are some serious medical, and they need to concentrate on just that. I need to concentrate on trying to get up every day. Man, I'm trying to work on my bucket list. So I don't want to talk to anybody online. Like, you don't fucking know what you are talking about. Clueless, okay? You're causing harm. I'm not going to allow you to do that anymore. And I'm a very kind and generous person with my time. But if you want to waste time, go away. Leave me alone. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't give a shit who the fuck you are. You don't have any right to communicate with me. Especially you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's some things that have happened to me I would not wish on anybody. Yeah, including the ones who did it to me. But I'm 53. It is not looking so great, me hitting the age of 60. I'm aware of it. Okay? I'm not buying into it totally, but I can't think about that shit. I basically gotta go day by day, week by week. So I have been working on trying to write some music and get some music out. I'm still working on it. It'll take me a little while. I mean, I don't really have a band again. I'm gonna read on a free keyboard. I have to everything that I had that some of you were used to looking at. It's like, well, you guys weren't supporting me, so all that got fucking thrown on the street in the middle of winter because somebody thinks it's fucking funny to hurt people. Because people think they have to be the aggressor, hurt someone before they hurt you. Some of you are seriously in, you know, denial of your mental health situation. I'm not trying to tell you that you got schizophrenia or depression. You may not. Okay? But hurting someone else before they hurt you is a sign that you need help. Okay? People who bully a lot, especially younger, right, is a sign that they need help. If they seem toxic to you and you just run away and you don't, try and do anything about it, or you don't like understand, maybe they just need a fucking hug because they're not getting it at home. Because they're getting abused somewhere. People cry out for help in a variety of ways, and sometimes that's bullying. They're not intentionally meaning to cause harm, they just don't know what else to do. A lot of times they're just crying out for help. So anybody sees this is going to understand I'm not really going to be talking to people on direct message. Most hockey people, and talking right out loud and the X wide open. I gotta go. I have an appointment. I don't feel good. I gotta do it. It takes a lot of energy for me to have to even go to the doctor sometimes. Even wake up in the morning and give a shit. So I have hockey to look forward to. And so I gotta hang on to that for dear life every day.